climate change could feasibly be solved today on this Friday in November. In a few short words spoken aloud. And freedom for those who aren't watching the drug dealer who's providing the addict their substance and chemical now. A person who's binge eating and staring at a wall with a described observation they say to their counselor and their social worker has to do with confusion from their brain not doing what they want now. And instead of another human saying, okay, food, energy, time, sleep, consciousness. Those professionals, ask about a memory and begin a therapy to eliminate an emotion that they learned about in a book in a classroom where they got their certification to be socially intelligent and proud with a self. They learned with their 4.0 GPA now. And instead of the simplicity with life on planet Earth, an object floating in outer space, humans and professionals, politicians and leaders reduce and minimize and restrict and limit confusion, solving disagreement, and duality, using silence and quiet, observation and watching and listening. Adding more language and more complexity, more intellectual information for a human on an object called planet Earth, with food available, hunting an animal in a forest, buying a cow hamburger in a grocery store, and making a vegan taco from some food nobody had 1,000 years ago now. Vegan field roast a long time ago wasn't sold, wasn't bought. And nobody advertised the benefits from those foods. To keep planet Earth from getting hot. And after a human receives their energy from an earth, a plant, an animal, a glass of water from rain, then they have energy to provide their body with stimulation from their brain, imagining and thinking about and seeing and watching waterfalls in another universe, and interacting with aliens on a UFO where they are flying now. And humans also have cold, snow, rain, wind, with death and dying important for anyone who doesn't want to die now. The list continues. And where all of the energy used by a brain eventually ends has to do with choices and decision making. To be confused and choose stimulation and misdirection and more boredom. Ignoring a simplicity in front of a human body and brain provided by energy. Energy available from food. Calories, potatoes and carrots, tortillas, and beans. With simplicity, social and emotions are less distracting and less language and more compassion. More bodies and brains in a world who want families. Safety for their children to play outside instead of hiding in their bedrooms during the daytime hours now. And privacy in a home, no matter a studio apartment or some closet someone rents in some house with 3,000 roommates now. Goals and simplicity decision making and choices, to continue a process with body and brain. And less dominance from those bigger, stronger, more beautiful, and more intelligent and brilliant. Now, benefits for living on planet Earth are slowly dwindling. Now, and humans are forcing their brothers and their sisters and their families and their mothers and their fathers and their grandparents to do more with increased restrictions and limits and controls and output to build and build and build within a mystery they've described with an object instead of a process with brain and body to see, hear, and feel with no fear, no bully, and no observer who wonders about their posture, language duration, letters in their sentences, and social network on Facebook and Twitter now. Brain and body. Object, world, civilization, planet Earth, floating in outer space, requiring food and energy, sleep, decision making and choices to not die from some disease or some cancer, or for some cold winter, snowy conditions. From a hallucination, distraction, and confusion. Driving a car and posting on a website, internet location about changes required for their planet they pollute, to not kill those children they have in a home they own. From a job they have at Microsoft and Google and Apple now. And now only time to watch time to see, time to provide for my consciousness now.